Unfortunately, I'm here today to talk about similar threats that were made against Benny Johnson and his wife, Kate. Just days after Charlie's assassination, Benny received a letter at his home where he and Kate are raising their beautiful, beautiful young family. The author of this letter made it very clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead.
That's Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing the arrest of a 69-year-old man accused of sending a threatening letter to conservative influencer Benny Johnson. The letter fantasized about Johnson being strangled with an American flag, among other things, and as Bondi said, expressed hatred for Johnson's views. Fox News contributor Paul Morrow joins me now. Paul, very good police work to get the suspect in this case. Talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, cases like this are not easy. Certainly a letter sent by mail. This was not a ground ball. A lot of agencies cooperated. You had the Florida Bureau of Investigation. That's their statewide investigatory agency. They're very good. I've worked with them in the past. They look like they took the lead on this. And then you had the Postal Police, which is federal, who also dug in on this. They were able to identify the origin of the letter. And this is what happens when you get this kind of collaborative effort. All of law enforcement synchronizing gives you a lot of reach. And in this case, it was enough. They got fingerprints off the letter, and they were able to identify Mr. Isbell as the alleged perpetrator. So very, very good work all around, very meticulous.
I want to play the reaction of Benny Johnson, the guy you see on the screen next to Paul there. Benny Johnson had this to say about this situation.
I would like to direct your attention to the state of Virginia, where Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing. An individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with. Violence has been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party.
It does seem that we're in a cycle of extremely violent rhetoric and extremely, violent attacks. Witness Charlie Kirk, Paul.
Absolutely. And while there is a both sidesism meme that inevitably goes around when we're having this discussion, I find it inarguable right now that we are in a season of leftist violence. You have, let's say, Mangione, Tyler Robinson, this recent church bomber in Washington, D.C., who wanted to blow up the church thinking that the Supreme Court justices were going to be there. We have this incident. It goes on, and I think it's undeniable right now that the majority of this stuff is coming from the left, and there doesn't seem to be any willingness by voices on the left to speak out. And I'm talking about the old school voices now. Where are the Clintons? Where are the Obamas? Where are the elder statesmen of the left of the Democratic Party speaking to the left to say, you got to knock this off? And right now they own this space. And so as a result, the Virginia AG has got to be considered part of that, because nobody will repudiate that, including those who are running, including the one running for governor. So right now you have a season of leftist violence that the people running the Democratic Party have to own because they won't repudiate it.
Yeah. Famously, Erica Kirk said that she has forgiven the man who killed her husband. The executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show is a guy named Andrew Colvett. He was a close friend of Charlie's. He's asking for normalcy. Listen.
Hopefully, we as a country can get back to a place of sanity and common sense where we have unanimity around the fact that political violence has no place in this country. It's the most un-American, vile thing you can imagine. And I hope for our children's future that we can get back to that place.
How about you, Paul? Are you optimistic that we can get back to a place like that?
You know, I would like to be, and if given the choice, you always want to choose optimism, whether it's domestically or in a place like the Middle East, despite all the challenges. But what we have to recognize right now is Donald Trump seems to have the ability to trigger the left like nobody in my lifetime, and that includes W. Bush, who also set them off pretty horrifically as well. But right now, we have another 3 years at least of Donald Trump, and Trump-ism may very well continue post-Donald Trump. And, the bottom line is Trump is doing what he promised to do. All the polls show that people recognize that. And it just seems to be something that the progressives cannot bring themselves around to tolerate. But I think that Mr. Clyburn is accurate, that if we don't get some sort of restoration of normalcy here, we're going to continue to get this kind of thing. And I really fear, as the front lines, the ICE battles that we're seeing going on in Portland and Chicago, that seems to be getting only more violent. The violence there seems to be escalating, and I really fear something horrific happening there as well.
Yeah, and major political leaders criticizing law enforcement officers. It's hard to believe. Paul Mauro.
It is.
Thanks, Paul.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.